The premise for this video is basically I haven't done anything creative for like a week and a half now. Like, I am art blocking so hard. Nothing is sparking the inspiration for me. So what do you do when you don't have any inspiration for new stuff? You go back to the old stuff. These are all of my, well, they're not all of my sketchbooks. I have about another 10 of them upstairs, but these are my oldest sketchbooks. I brought all of them down because I used to not use every single page when I was a kid, but I have all my old sketchbooks. And we're gonna redraw some old stuff today, just to get back into the swing of things, you know? But first, I'm gonna shill my Redbubble, so bear with me for a couple seconds. If you enjoy any of the artwork I make, both here and on Instagram, you can find more of my designs on Redbubble. You can get them printed on anything you like. Shirts, cups, a shower curtain. Please get the shower curtain. If you get the shower curtain, send me a photo at Head in the Galaxy Warp on Instagram. If you buy anything, send me a photo. But I will let you get back to your video. This is my first ever sketchbook. Or at least the first one I kept. This would have been roughly 2014-15, which is when I started getting like really into drawing and fandom stuff. And my first ever fanfiction was published. Shout out, fuck, I can't remember the name of it, but shout out to my Stanford Pines X-Reader. It's still on Wattpad and it still holds up. I was cooking. But I was super into Gravity Falls at the time. This was a couple years after it came out, because I was like 8 when it came out, but these were my favourite sorts of things to draw, like, because these were really easy to trace. Like, I just trace around my hand and then make like glove stylings. 'Cause as you can see through this sketchbook, I've already been back and redrawn a couple times before. This was 2022's Dipper, compared to like 8 years earlier Dipper. Not bad for like a 12-year-old. Another one of those gloves we were on about. Because I always use my left hand, because I drew with my right. Aw, my hands haven't even grown that much, that's cute. But that was one of my less favourite designs. I feel like I could have done better. We might end up redesigning that one today, actually. Oh, Stanford Pines, my old pal. He was always my favourite Gravity Falls. I had a crush on every single one of the Pines family at some point or another. Like, it was Dipper and Mabel when I was a kid, and then it was Stanford, and now it's Stanley, so... Oh, this would have been... Yeah, this would have been the YN for my Fell Sands fanfiction. She was sweet and shy, and also wildly suicidal. Yeah, the trigger warning on that one. Because I did write some pretty horrific self-harm scenes. All of my eyes over the years, because these were based on one of those how to draw books that I rented from the library. And I've gone back over the years and just like added different eyes and different pens. My first Dopper Pines. Yeah, I had no idea how fabric worked back then, or like how to draw a forwards cap or anything. But I was having so much fun. And I feel like I need to embody that nowadays. I feel like I'm like too invested in how good my final product comes out instead of just enjoying the process. Like, look at this little Coraline Mabel. It's the 2022 version. I actually quite like that one. She was supposed to be like the little doll. That's not focusing. Focus, please. Yeah. I'm super into Coraline as well. More children should be forced to watch Coraline. It's good for your health. It's not, but it's good for your development. Also not true. Yeah, because it was called Singing with the Siren. my Edge Sans fanfiction, and this was like the main character. Oh, and my Undertale phase, which I never really grew out of. My house keys still have Undertale keychains on them that my mom got me for Christmas all that time ago. My Metaton glove. I was super into Metaton. I had an online friend who was really into him too, and I used to draw stuff for her. Also, roses were like the only type of flower I could draw, so I just diddled like roses on everything. That's YN again. Yin, if you will. Oh yeah, made Bill Cipher. What do y'all know about the Bill Cipher X-Rater fanfictions? I was there in the trenches. I published this one on Amino when, like, before Amino shut down. I was, like, on there briefly. I never got super into it, but it was, like, turn the Gravity Falls into, like, a creature test. And I came up with this snake design for Stan with, like, it was, like, it was Cobra based. Like, I'm not sure why that's on the front. He should have had that design on his back and, like, his scales. But, oh my god, I think that's, like, his boxers, too. My man was not wearing any pants. Oh, and those old style challenges. In case you wondered what I was into, GarageBand, Gravity Falls, Teen Titans Go, and the original Teen Titans, which I never finished, by the way, because I only ever watched it on TV when it aired. I remember the Slade arc scaring the shit out of me, though. I have seen a lot more Teen Titans Go, and I was into that for a while afterwards, but I want to get into Teen Titans, but the fact that it never got a proper ending, it really annoys me, and, like, puts me off from ever starting it. GarageBand is the perfect TV show, though. Shout out Canada, for real. Another geometric Bill Cipher inspired design. This is when I started doing the big googly eyes. And the little spiky hands. I think they still hold up pretty well. You can tell that they're hands at a distance. I think I redrew this a couple years later, but yeah, I had a whole, like, dark side thing going on, like, evil, which could be attributed to my poor mental health at the time, but, you know, it made for some pretty sick artwork. And then I just stopped, and it didn't fill out the rest of this one. So that's sketchbook number 1. How about we redraw some of these, eh? Birds be quiet, birds. Okay. First project. Bill Cipher glove. I gathered the requisite materials. Birds! I gathered the requisite materials. This is my newest sketchbook, which I got from Typo, like, I want to say like 2 years ago, because I do not draw in my sketchbook as much as I should. Because I got it into my head that this is only for, like, my finished projects. So we're gonna draw in it today. Just to get some of that stigma out. Those were a companion to my Patreon, actually. If you saw my playlist, if it hasn't been taken down again for copyright reasons, fuck you, Olivia Rodrigo, you know what you did. I'm kidding. I don't want to start public beef with Olivia Rodrigo. But this was the companion. I basically did a challenge where every single song I would make an illustration, but I only had the length of the song to make that illustration. Okay, I'm drawing the bed on fire, because I know I'm running out of time. The bed is on fire. Okay, we need some orange. You hit me once, I hit you back, you give a kick, I give a slap, you smashed the blade off of my head, then I set fire to our bed. Done. Okay, I'm not allowed to touch that anymore. So if that sounds interesting to you, it is available on my Patreon here, along with high-res downloads of my Redbubble designs. But back to our current challenge, Bill Cipher glove. So we're doing a return to basics here, with, you know, some little interesting things thrown in. So I have colored pencils that I have had since, like, I want to say primary school at this point. I'm 22, by the way.
I'm 22. 22.
Well, almost, in a couple months. Rubber that I randomly found. A lead pencil. It's a sketching pencil, see? I got like this, I remember getting this pack actually. They were like proper, like marketed as like real drawing pencils, and they were so cool when I got them. I was like, I'm gonna be a real artist. You'll see it in some of the later sketchbooks, because they smudge a bit, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, you didn't come here for a review of my art supplies, so I'll get these out of your way. And you know what, we're gonna follow the tried and true formula. Gonna lay the hand out. We're gonna... bit different with my ring on, but shush. Just around. A hand? God damn, my wrist is skinny. I think, seriously? Okay, no, I underestimated that a little bit, thankfully. Jesus. That's disproportionate, but a hand. So I pretty much just, on the original design, I just made Bill like the hand, but I think I'm gonna try and bring some more triangular elements into it. Because I do like the way it comes up like in the middle of the finger. So we're picturing this is like the back of the hand, right? So it's not like outwards. Actually, the eye in the middle would be cool outwards, but no, I've already decided, so. Okay guys, crazy idea. Ditch the bottom half of the glove. And just, because I've drawn up his little bow tie, which I love making like floppy. So I'm making this into like an actual bow on the glove, like this would be 3D if I were to sew this. The next video is just me sewing this glove, that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, if we cut that off just below the wrist, so that's just up there. Probably need to be a little bit lower for, you know, like stability reasons, but the actual triangle, oh my god, wait, did I just come up with something on the spot? We could use the triangular shape, because if we say we're skipping those two fingers and we bring the glove up to here, we're getting a triangular shape about it. Because then and that can have like a little, because that's got to hook around the finger. And that's, so we have to have like a band up here. We can make that a proper triangle, and then we can have this band up here be in black, and then have that as like the top hat. Obviously not completely, but, or we have that as like the over, and then like I have another glove underneath that's completely black maybe. But if we're pulling that down, let's just do that. That looks like something you could wear. All things considered. Obviously, like glove. Thinking about making this part down here like the brick pattern that he has. If we were gonna do like a top layer and then like a bottom layer, we'd probably do this part in the brick pattern. Maybe not in the actual yellow, but I think I'd do it in like a black and white this time around. Because already fucked that up. It's fine. That's what we have the eraser for. Oh my god, I haven't used a rubber in so long. Don't take that out of context, my British friends. Those things are called rubbers here. I know what else you're thinking of. Yeah, I can have the black and white brick pattern down the actual sleeve. And then we could just have the top of this be the black. I'm thinking about doing like blue at the fingertips, but that might be a little much. Because, you know, he has the blue flame, but... Because... Oh, that's like... Just say like that. Eyelashes. The big old eye, obviously, because I feel like it's a bit simpler than my original design, but it is also like less random elements, because I was just really into drawing roses and stuff at the time. But I feel like the underside of the palm could be blue. If I really needed to work the blue in there somewhere, I feel like I'd work it in under the palm, you know? Yeah, that's like the back of your hand. It's roughly... Actually, I kind of like that. Black that out. I think, yeah, I'd have like a proper ribbon on top of it in the darker black, but... Funny story, actually. When I was in prep, which for my international friends is like our first year of school, no, it would have been year one, but my teacher, we were doing like oil pastels. She was really cool. She let us do all the artsy stuff. I blame her for the way I am now. Shout out Mrs. Lambert if you're watching. But we were doing the oil pastels, and she was like, you can only draw in one direction while you're doing it, like while you're coloring, because otherwise, like obviously she meant like do all your strokes in the one direction like that, but my autistic ass, which I should have realized earlier that I was on the spectrum, but you know, I was 5, so I took it as like I had to do every line like that, like in the same direction. So I did that for like a solid half of my piece, and then like I'd get bored of doing that and just like quietly scribble back and forth instead of just the one stroke at a time. And I thought it was being like so bad, like I was convinced she was gonna turn around and scold me for colouring the way she told us to. But I was like, oh my god, I'm going back and forth instead of one stroke at a time, she's going to end my life. She did not in fact do that. She was really sweet, actually. I love her. The pencil letters coming out of here, but she didn't see that. Wabam. Now we have 2 gloves. I mean, I just like the line weight better on this newer one. It's also a lot simpler, because I put a lot of detail into this first one, because I just really liked drawing, like, weeds and stuff. But I feel like this one's a lot more Bill Cipher-esque. I also just really like the way it's put together. I'm not sure what I'd do about this top bit here, whether, like, this would be like an over glove sort of thing. Like, I'd sew up the black underneath and then, like, pin this part to the top sort of business. But I do think it looks really cute, and it has a big bow on it. I like gloves with bows. I also like socks with bows. I like a lot of things with bows. But yeah, that's drawing number 1. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bonus doodle on here, because I don't want to use up a whole page for this glove design, so I'm just gonna do it in the corner. But this is my Dipper Pines one. Again, with all the vines and roses, that's just what I was really into drawing at the time. But I'm gonna do a glove design for Dipper as well, just because I think it's really cute. Dipper glove. It's a really bad angle for it, and it looks like he has 3 fingers, but yeah, I think it would look like, instead of having the full, because I was really into evening wear at the time, so instead of having like the full thing just printed onto the glove, I think I'd make it more shaped like the actual pine tree. Obviously it'd still have to connect around the wrist and stuff, but I'd have these little gaps like in the sides, like have rips down them, and obviously a bit of brown to break up all that blue, because I feel like Dippo is the type to have those gloves that have like the proper leather strap on them and everything. He would wear fingerless gloves, is all I'm saying. That's the next evolution of his character, is fingerless gloves. Lightning round. I'm gonna draw all the Pines family, only with the references from my sketchbook though. No googling. Whatever I did in here is how they look canonically, okay? 3, 2, 1, bite! Now the test. Have I learned anything in the last 10 years that allows me to actually draw a ball cap? Not really, to be honest. It's fine, you know. If this were a reference run, I'd probably go look something up about it, but you know, it fits. You get it. Girls' cargo shorts though. Honestly, I believe Mabel would wear cargo shorts too. They both have too many things to carry. But he got that pocket inside his puffy vest for the journal, but he gonna have these huge cargo shorts too. I want cargo shorts so bad because I have a pair of cargo jeans and I love them. And I was like, don't use them, you're gonna wear out the pockets. And I'm like, that's the whole point of having so many pockets. What the hell are you on about? But yeah, like just above his knee. I do stand like this in real life, by the way. I'm not sure why I always used to draw them with like 1 foot sideways and 1 foot forward. I think I was just like trying to test it. I honestly still use that like to this day, so it's not like I can call my younger self out for this. It's just a good way to show off like the sides of what they're doing. Look at that 3/4 foot. Look at them skinny ass legs. I'm a firm believer that the twins have curly hair, by the way. Just the fluffy way they're drawn. I never drew Mabel normally in the sketchbook, so we're drawing mini Mabel. I'm not sure what led to her being a mini Mabel against these two perfectly sized dudes. Ignore how short Dipper's legs are. I think I made his legs too short. But trust, it's just the way his clothes fit. Trust. But we're gonna do a mini Mabel. Et voila! Pineses. I really like the way Ford came out. If you couldn't tell, he's my favourite. I have such a sloppy crush on that old man. You should go read Sweethearts to Soulmates, actually, because that shit still holds up. In terms of the writing quality, maybe not, but I'd be spinning tales. Also, there are trigger warnings on certain chapters because I was a very violent child. So enjoy me lining these dudes, because I think that's what I'm gonna do. This paper bleeds, so I'm not able to get like quite as crisp a line as I would like. Also, like half of my pens are dead and I can't remember which ones. So this is my point one. These are typo brand as well, by the way. Draw the line fine liners. I've had these for like 6 years, but they've lasted pretty well, to be honest. I love a brush pen, but they're also just really good for actual lining. I miss the actual line weight. So that's what I used to use like different types of pens to add different line weight. That's my point 2. And that's my point 3. I haven't worked with these in a while, actually, so this is kind of thrilling. Now the old me. I've got all this lined up now. The old me, she liked erasing every single pencil mark. Like if I lined something, I erased all the pencil. But now me, I actually like the sketchiness a bit better, so I think I'm gonna keep most of that. I'm just gonna erase some of the bits, like the bits that I want a bit cleaner or like that I didn't end up lining in, sort of thing. Just to make it a bit more readable overall. Like especially the guide marks for the anatomy sort of thing. Like you can still see Dipper's ribs through his shirt at the moment, so. And Ford's luscious titties. I'm allowed to speak about him, right? He's what, a 70-something-year-old man? I'm allowed to objectify him. Also, I think I accidentally gave him too many fingers. I think he has 7 fingers now, which is unironically hilarious, because I got a little confused with my lining. But I'm gonna clean up his eyes and everything a bit. I think I'm gonna leave the crappy stubble there, because he does have the stubble. Just gonna run it over a little bit to make it lighter, but look at that old man face. I fuck with the old man face. I would fuck the old man. I'm sorry, I'm gonna shut up while I do this. More cleaning around the edges. That's pretty much it. So I give you, oh, I told you these pencils smudged. Look at the side of my hand right there. It's fine, I don't care. But I give you the Pines minus Stan, because the only version of him I drew in this is a snake. I'm just adding Mabel's little headband. She's so cute. I'm just gonna try and do, I'll imply her little star, so I can't really fit the whole thing on it. And Dip's got his cap, of course. And I think we still have a brush pen. My brush pen. This was my favorite. Which is probably why it's so torn up. 2026. Well, I don't know if I've improved on Dipper at all, but I think I've improved on Stanford at least. My husband, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot more experience drawing him. Yeah, I think I'll do a sequel to this video where I actually read those old fanfictions and do some illustrations for them, so let me know if you'd like to see that. And honestly, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for seeing my art improvement. Like or this version of Stanford Pines will haunt your dreams. But with all that said, I am gonna head out. I have a brookie calling my name and I haven't eaten all day, so I will see you in the next video. I'm kidding. You should watch I Am Wrong, by the way. Anyway, bye!